Okay, so let's get started creating the setting, the environment. Every 3D scene starts with an environment, a setting where you place your character on. So in this case, we have a very simple scene. We have a floor and a bouncing ball, okay? So it's pretty much two elements that we're going to create. And I want to show you first one thing that that you might want to keep in mind when you're creating settings and environments. Um, the first thing we're going to do is create the floor. So let's go on the modeling menu set, and under the polygon modeling tab, let's create a polygon plane. And you can scale it with the scale tool over here, and you just grab it by the middle node and stretch it until it kind of fits around that grid, okay? The other option I want to show you is let me hit the space bar first. Notice that if I click somewhere else, you don't see the plane anymore. So for spatial reference, you might lose it from time to time when animating. So so that you don't get lost, you have another option, which is creating a cube. So let's create a cube. And with the scale tool, let's scale it again, right? So that it fits on the grid. But since it's so tall, it's very thick and tall, let's just grab that top node only and kind of squish it down. Okay, so I'm grabbing this one over here, click and drag it down to make it a little bit thinner. Okay, so now if you notice, if you select the move tool and you move it down, you're going to notice then that you have the plane over here and the cube over there. Okay, so you don't lose the view or the cube from sight when you're on the side or front viewport, where you do lose the plane because the plane is pretty much paper thin and the plane will not have depth. That's basically what happens. So just click on the plane. I'm just going to click on the plane and delete it. I just wanted to show you that little detail, okay? And then I'm going to click on that perspective, on the perspective viewport. I'm going to click on that bottom plane there, and then I'm going to move with the move tool over here. Just click up and kind of like until it disappears, the grid starts disappearing. That is pretty much the middle of the axis on zero, ground zero, and it's going to help you, have that floor edge there without having the grid. I personally like to turn the grid off on the perspective viewport once I have everything set up. So let's go show grid, and that way you have it without the grid on the perspective viewport, and then you see the grid on the other views, which is going to come handy. You can always turn it on again by going show grid. Okay, so it's not gone forever. So I'm going to turn it off again, show grid. Okay, and that way I have it there without the grid. Okay, the next element on our scene is the sphere. So on the same menu, let's add the sphere by adding on the same modeling menu, poly modeling. Instead of going to the plane or the cube over here, let's go to the sphere over here. And there's our sphere. You can scale it if you want. Okay, so I'm going to scale it a little bit. So I'm going to just get it from the middle there and make it smaller. Actually, not that small, but you can't see it. Okay, so let's leave it like that. And then I'm going to position it. Okay, so right now it's kind of in the middle and it gets lost inside our floor over there, our cube floor. So I'm going to move it up. Okay, so with the move tool selected, I'm going to move it up. And here's where you can use all the viewports to your advantage. I can go here and move it to the left, maybe over here on the corner, to kind of make it bounce towards this side, right? To the side of this perspective viewport plane, from corner to corner. So As you zoom in, one important thing to keep in mind, and I'm middle mouse alternate here to move the camera, I'm going to make sure that it kind of touches the ground so that it's not floating over it. That's one thing that sometimes students tend to do, just leave objects floating on space instead of colliding against the floor plane. So that will give you the ability of making it look like it's actually touching the ground, okay? So this is the first step. I'm going to hit the spacebar over the perspective viewport, and now we have set up our environment. We have our character and our floor plane, okay? On the next set of videos, we're going to set up the sphere, and we're going to then animate it so that we can make it go from left to right on the screen, okay?